Hello and welcome back to the State Hockey Centre at Jeps Cross. My name is Dave, I'm with Tim White tonight. So we are about to get ready for the women's game. Interestingly, on the women's game, Adelaide and Burnside both on 16 points, both on exactly the same goal difference as well, so we expect to see a very tight one tonight.
Absolutely, I think it's a fantastic game for us to finish the Friday night hockey with such an even contest, and I think Northeast, by memory, are only 2 points above them in fourth spot, so the winner of this game will go ahead of Northeast, who play, I think, Seacliff tomorrow, which is a tough game.
At least until tomorrow, and I know like last week we saw some very interesting hockey last week, but this week this will be a very, very close game, and there are a lot of players to watch, and some of your under-21 girls will be out there tonight. Just a reminder of the things that are coming up. The Hockey USA Awards night. Make sure that you get yourselves the tickets for that one. The production for the pre-presentation movie is it's all already in the planning stage and the script writing stage. So that will be a big production next year. Dan Cox winning it last year. Holly Evans winning the women's one. Tickets are available mid-July. Even if you're in the country area, make sure you get a ticket. Come down, spend the night in the Adelaide CBD. Fantastic night for hockey fans from everywhere in South Australia. The school July holiday clinics are coming up as well. 18th to the 20th of July will be the field players, and on the 21st of July, the goalkeepers will get a run out. Getting quick because the early bird closes today, essentially. You've got hours left to get in there and get that done. It's open to boys and girls aged 6 to 18, and that will involve a lot of the high-performance coaches from Hockey USA will be involved in that.
It will, yeah. There'll be a number of the good young state players who will be out there coaching the kids, so it's a great opportunity. And
don't forget as well, in the Term 3 Hook Into Hockey program will be around. That will start on Thursday the 17th of August, and they run between 4:30 and 5:30 p.m. A 7-week program for boys and girls aged 6 to 12. The website address for that is www.hookintohockey, the 2 being the number 2, hookintohockey.com.au. So we will get ready for this. The teams are out there doing the warm-ups. Like we said, both on equal points, 5th and 6th. The winner of tonight, and there will be a winner tonight, we'll go to the dreaded one-on-ones if we have to. The winner of tonight will go into that top 4.
That they will until Northeast play Seacliff tomorrow. So if Seacliff, who are currently 3rd, beat Northeast, then the winner of tonight's game would be 4th after this round of hockey. So it seems as though there are 3 teams, the 2 that are playing tonight and Northeast, who are competing for that 4th spot. Seacliff have broken away a little bit, and then you've got Uni and Port, who are clearer, looking for the top spot between those 2. So a critical game.
Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be right back after this very short message for game number 2 of the final Friday night of 2017.
See Premier League hockey in real time.
In real time. In real time.
Good receive there by Simon Well.
And in front of the goal mouth.
Every goal.
Every goal. Every goal.
The ball penetrating run, open circle, 1-2 play.
Every save.
Every save.
James Minton has the opportunity. Great save.
Get straight into the circle, off a stick, and well saved by Amy Hammond.
Every tackle. Every tackle.
Gets the attack into the circle. Nice tackle there.
Live.
Right here on Hockey SA.
Right here on Hockey SA.
Runs with pace. Into battery 2. Looks for a quick shot off the back post.
Net 25 here.
Get around it. Get around it.
Welcome back. The temperature has dropped somewhat, but we've been given a little heater up here, so we're going to try and stay as warm as possible. So the temperature has dropped. It's a cold night. I certainly wouldn't want to be caught on the leg with a ball tonight.
No, it is a cold night, but it's a great night for hockey. We've been fairly lucky with the Friday nights. We've a lot of cool, crisp nights, but not a lot of rain, I don't think.
Well, Wednesday we had rain all Wednesday night, which but didn't really affect the players. Like I said, it's probably one of the few sports where the rain is good for the game.
Well, we need to water the pitch anyway, so
exactly.
Yeah, no, it certainly doesn't affect it.
So as we get ready for this second game of the night, we are live and we are interactive on Facebook. Make sure that you share what you are seeing, so all of your friends will be able to join you in watching the hockey, and there is no better way to watch hockey on a Friday night than with myself and Tim as we talk you through this final game of the 2017 season. I apologise if my voice catches. I will have a little bit of a lump in my throat all the way through this one. As we see the Burnside keeper wearing the Sydney Roosters top, Belinda Rundle. She'll be happy at the weekend.
Yeah, she's been the keeper for Burnside for a good number of years. She's an experienced keeper in the goal for the Adelaide team is a younger keeper, Gracie Henderson, who went away with the under-18 state team this year. So you've got an experienced keeper for Burnside and an inexperienced one for Adelaide.
Well, in round 5, Adelaide got up over Burnside 4-1. I think that's the only time they played each other so far this year. So they got up there. As far as the Adelaide Hockey Club goes, there's a couple of players out there who were running around on Wednesday night as well. Emily Grist was out there. Hattie Shander's out there as well. So I'll see whether I can see any others from the Burnside point of view, just see whether I can recognise any names. You'll know better than I do with the these women's teams.
Yeah, well, Yulene McLaughlin played on Wednesday night. She's one of the key players for the SA under-21 women. She's about 6 weeks into playing again after 12 months off, having done an ACL in a national camp last year. So she's an important player for them, along with Georgie Kill and Lucy Talbot, who are 2 real keys for Burnside. And then Adelaide, you've mentioned Emily Grist as a key player. Rebecca Nolan's a calming influence at the back. Has been a really experienced player, 3-time premiership player for Adelaide. Amy Waters is a really strong and skillful player in the midfield, and then you've got someone like a Hattie Shand, who's a real young gun, who's recently come back from the Australian Schoolgirls Tour over in Europe. So I think we're in for a really tight contest.
Yeah, Hattie Shand came back from the Schoolgirls trip and then almost straight away played in the Zone and Country Championships and then went on to win it. So she had a successful June.
She loves her hockey. I think she might have found her way into the commentary booth as well at one point.
She certainly did. She did a half a hockey with me, which was very enjoyable. And we are underway with Adelaide attacking to the right and starting to put pressure on very, very early, and they get that early circle entry with Patton, and the ball is bouncing around, and our first short corner of the night will go to Adelaide. As far as the umpires go, I will get in. Sure, we'll find out at some point who they are.
Well, have we got the brother and sister?
I think it is.
We've definitely got Holly Evans.
So that's Holly Evans, and I'm pretty sure that is her brother.
Well, there we go. You wouldn't have to have a brother and sister umpiring a Premier League game. So
let's hope they agree on everything, because if they disagree, we could be here all night.
I think they might be mic'd up this evening as well.
They will be. They have been for most of the Friday nights. Holly Evans and somebody else who's wormed her way into the commentary position.
Yes, she has. She's done a good job.
A good trap, and there's the hit. And the rebound will go in, and there is goal number 1 of the night. And Adelaide, just like their male counterparts, will take the early lead with just over 2 minutes gone.
Well, that penalty corner took 20 seconds, I think, to win. Adelaide went straight into attack. And then it was a good strike by Rebecca Nolan. It was well saved by Belinda Rundle, but it was almost a mirror image of Adelaide's early goal, where it fell into that dangerous area, and Fee Patton, I think, was the goal scorer for Adelaide.
So another very early start. So that one is fired out, but cut off in midfield, and Adelaide trying to get it under control, just couldn't in the moment. Burnside will go out to the right, but she's ploughing a lone furrow out there on her own. She'll look for support to come. Adelaide will turn it over again. And
yeah, well, I've heard Holly Evans on the commentary or behind the mic talk about the lack of goals in the women's comp. So I guess as an umpire, you're not really.
She will have had a little silent fist pump.
Maybe she would have.
But it's supporting women's hockey, as she does. But it was interesting though, because as they got onto that, something else we talk about with Holly was the drag flicking skill from the women's level isn't there. So we saw the goalkeeper for Burnside, Belinda Rundle, just lay down when she knew the hit was coming.
Yeah, exactly. So we're trying to develop a couple of drag flickers in our Sassy program. Mickey Spano is a developing drag flicker. Yelena McLaughlin will probably try and do some low drag flicks this evening. So, but yeah, it's certainly not the weapon that it is in the men's game, and so the keeper can be more comfortable about laying down.
So another one finds its way just in front of the keeper and go for a long corner. Adelaide really starting to put some early pressure on. We'll come out onto this right-hand side and another circle entry, but Burnside will be able to get rid of it. Just the pass didn't go to a stick, and Adelaide will be able to start again. And they look to shift out to that left-hand side and just too far in front of Pennington.
Yeah, so as I said, Burnside will be really looking for Talbot and Kuhl to try and control a lot of possession in the midfield, and alternatively Adelaide, it'll be a good battle because Adelaide in that midfield area, you've got Amy Waters and you've got Hattie Shand who'll sort of swing around that area along with Emily Grist, who is a former Burnside player, so she'll have an extra spring in her step this evening.
Adelaide again will look to that left-hand wing, where he started to get a little bit of success in the game's hardly got going yet, but they have had a lot of success down on that left-hand side.
Yeah, well, the game's been played down one end at the moment. So it's Ali Pennington on the ball.
That will go in again, but Burnside again will look to clear and just didn't manage to get it away. Now they have a little bit of an extra bite at it. Looks like it came off the foot of Grist, so they'll have a free hit just inside their own half. And with the overhead flick, which is something we've talked about from the women, so it's good to see that overhead flick. Adelaide will get the free hit just around 25. Again, that trap just not there. Ella Morrison will, well, she was looking like she was going to start us off. She's wandered away and left it to Ellen Howe.
Be interested to see how Carly Hoffman goes this evening.
Very nearly intercepted by Fee Patton. But
yeah, that was a dangerous ball. You say Carly Hoffman is the number 26 who's pressing on the outer side at the moment. She's a 15-year-old and a really promising player.
And that's found its way into the middle, and Burnside just couldn't convert it.
Well, I mean, a fantastic opportunity for Burnside, and I'm not sure. I think it might have been Nissa Wedding who had the shot.
71, it was Nissa Wedding.
And whether it was a shot or a cross, we had the back. Well, Burnside had the back post covered, but they just couldn't get a touch in. But a great opportunity by Burnside.
So Nissa Wedding is a state water polo player, so she will have. She'll have an engine.
Yeah. No, she's played hockey for quite a few years, but I'm fairly sure she's kind of cemented her spot in the Premier League team this year. Former Pembroke scholar.
Fired down into that left-hand corner again. They're determined to start their work from the left wing at the moment.
It has been played a lot on the other side. Erin Cameron, number 5, has just been subbed on. So she also is a promising young player. Went away with the under-18 state team.
Good 3D skills and good challenge though. The umpires have let it go. A lot of stick noise, but everyone was happy with it. And eventually, Mr. Evans gives a free hit to
dangerous
the
position.
Adelaide Hockey Club, and that one will be fired in. Gave herself up at the top of the circle.
So that was into the foot of the goal scorer.
Patton again. She's getting her name called. She's doing enough to get her name called a lot.
She is. So Adelaide ringing the changes early, a bit like their men's team. So that's Jossie Kelly. They've got a lot of young players playing tonight. So Jossie Kelly's only 16, Erin Cameron 17, Carly Hoffman 15. So a lot of young players.
Well, that's Alison Pennington we're looking at now, 25-year-old from Darwin. She moved to Sunraysia from Sunraysia to Adelaide 7 years ago. So a lot more of the girls wearing the undershirts. The men obviously trying to look tough in front of the cameras. It is cold out there.
It is, yeah. I think the temperature's dipping a little bit, but
Shand again will just
great
knock
ball.
that down the right-hand wing. She'll find Kelly. Kelly will just throw it towards goal, and that will go harmlessly wide of Belinda Rundle's goal.
Yeah, she just needed to get a bit more angle on it, although a long corner's been given, so it must have come off a Burnside stick. So Amy Waters on the ball, number 1 for Adelaide. Really dangerous in these situations. She'll look to travel 5 and then penetrate ideally if she can.
That's a good ball through, and that's going to get to the byline and just gets tripped, but nothing doing, but it'll be a long corner.
So that was Pennington again, yeah. So she turned up in Adelaide, I reckon, around 2010, won a couple of premierships. So has been a stalwart at the club ever since.
Here you go again, go out to that left-hand side, and we'll look for a circle entry, but there's a free hit. And Burnside will be able to relieve the pressure.
It was a good strong run by Annie Bridgeland. I'm not sure, I think she's not sure what the free was for, but anyway, it was against her.
Nice turn inside, but she's turned into trouble. Kelly again will work hard and put pressure on. Well, we've been opening 10 minutes, it's been scrappy. Mr. and Ms. Evans
Yeah,
certainly got through some work with the whistle.
Yeah, they've got a bit of work to do.
I nearly said Mr. and Mrs. Evans then, that would have been very weird. But Grist will work onto this right-hand side and look for a circle entry. She'll fire it across the front of goal. Burnside, I've got to get rid of it. The more it bounces around there, the worse it's going to be for them, but they get a free hit to relieve that pressure.
It's been, it's been a little bit frantic back in the Burnside circle, so they'd be looking to calm things down a little bit, but which they didn't. They actually just turned it over again, but well won by Georgie Keel in the midfield. Out to Yelena McLaughlin. It's the first time we've called her name.
And now we'll push down into that left-hand side again. That won't be pushed across goal and just turned behind by Annie Bridgeland, who's working circle to circle at the moment. We're seeing her at both ends of this pitch.
She is, yeah. She's a workhorse. Played for Adelaide for a number of years. Her sister Georgie Bridgeland is also out there, or she's actually waiting to sub on. She's going away with the under-21 state women's team next week.
So the boys and girls be together when they go away, or are you in different places?
We are sharing the same accommodation, and so
As I just interrupt you, as Burnside will look to get the circle entry, and they finally get one. And Yelena McLaughlin will do a lovely turn and then onto the reverse stick, but Adelaide have done enough, but Burnside are going to get in again. And again, they're going to put pressure on, and they get their short corner. The more pressure they get, the more chances they will get to get that short corner. As we get ready to this, obviously, I know Hugh Purvis is going away as the coach of the under-21 men's side, but obviously you can use him as the high-performance coach while you're away with him for recovery and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, we will work across both programs because Huey as Hockey SA high performance, me and my Sassy role, so there's 6 boys in the Sassy squad who are in the under-21 men's team, so even though we're coaching our respective teams, we'll very much have an eye on the other team and supporting one another.
So it looks like a single battery from Burnside.
So you might see Yelena trying a low flick here.
So the injection comes in, good trap, and there is a drag flick from Yelena, and there is a deflected goal, and there is the equaliser. You called it, Tim.
Yeah, well, she's really been working hard on that skill, and that was a reward for that. I think it may have come off the kicker of the goalkeeper or through the post person, but exactly what Burnside needed, and again, really good for the game. We've had 2 early goals, so it looks like being a good contest.
And a drag flick from a short corner, so we're happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shand will look in field, and very unusual for her. She turns it over. She's normally very, very miserly with the ball.
No, and I'll be happy if Yelena's doing that next week. We this time next week we open our tournament up against Queensland, so that'll be a tough game first up.
Well, the coach of Burnside, the Knight Rider, will be happy that he'll be happy that they're with their short corner percentage right now.
Yes, 100%. So, yep, Dan Hasselhoff's been at the helm of the Burnside team, as you call him, Knight Rider, for a few years. So he's a really competitive coach. understands structures well. His team is well disciplined, so you can see they're really working their way into the game at the moment.
Yeah, the momentum has swung. Obviously, this one opened out and Adelaide really had control of it, but now they are finding themselves under a little bit of pressure as Burnside find their feet. Ellen Howe will look to just slip it down into that left-hand corner, but cut off by Adelaide, and they will set up that press again.
Well, it's gone all the way through there.
I don't think it was intended, but it's done its job. And then she was looking for a player that wasn't there. Carly Chadwick, centre back from Adelaide.
Yep, Carly's played with Burnside for a good number of years now. Be interested to see when Adelaide bring on Minnie Gobolos. So was it a couple of weeks ago out here that Port played Adelaide, and Adelaide made a late run and scored 2 goals in the women's, and Minnie got both of them.
It certainly was.
And
yeah,
then there was a few Facebook cries of get Minnie on earlier. So
yeah, she came on. They came home with a wet sail. That's definitely what happened with Adelaide, and few chinks in the armour of the Port Adelaide women's side. They got beat in the league for the first time in a number of years this year by Seacliff, I think it was.
Yeah, it was up at Seacliff. It was a great encounter. 5-4 was the final score, and it was on the night of Leah Wellstead's 21st birthday as well. So yeah, the first time she'd lost for a few years, and she had to put it behind her and enjoy a party that night.
Well, they will probably take the minor premier spot again. And
well,
then,
Adelaide Uni might have something to say about that, because I think there's only a couple of points in it. And I'm fairly sure they do play each other again.
Well, there's 4 points in it, so I think the issue is that Port Adelaide lost when it comes around only every couple of years. You wouldn't put money on them losing again, but when they play Adelaide Uni again, as you say, that would be one we would like to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We might petition Port Adelaide and Adelaide Uni and see whether we can get them to play it on a Friday night. We'll just sneak another Friday night live in.
I think there'd be a lot of people that would enjoy that. So, but yeah, getting back to this contest, it's turned into a pretty even battle. Adelaide had very much the better of the first 6 or 7 minutes. Burnside worked their way back in, scored a goal from a yo-yo drag flick, and now it's a bit of an arm wrestle. So,
which is what we expected. I mean, and they really haven't moved on from where they were right at the beginning of this game. They'll be even on everything. So we could see the 101s. I think we've only seen them once on a PL Friday tonight.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Woodville
Port Adelaide men's went to 1-on-1s, and other than that, everything has been decided in the 70 minutes.
Yeah, there hasn't been since Hockey SA introduced the rule, I think maybe last year or the year before, there hasn't been a whole lot of draws, but I think it's a good rule to bring in. I think it adds to the enjoyment of the game. The spectators enjoy it. It's an extra point for the winner of the 1-on-1, so yeah, I enjoy the rule.
And whoever wins that, and if they do win it on 1-on-1s, they'll need that extra point, how close these two teams are together.
Absolutely.
And we're now seeing the game being played between the 25s, as McLaughlin was very, very close to getting the stick on that one.
The Hockey World League is on at the moment, which is in Belgium, and the quarter-final stages last night.
Was it quarter-final? I thought they had the semi-finals, because I know Australia beat Belgium last week.
That was in the round, and so Australia topped their pool, the Hockey Roos. They played the 4th-ranked team in the other pool, which was China, who hadn't won a match, and China defeated the Hockey Roos 2-0. So
do you know what? As soon as you started that story, I was like, I know where this is going, and it's not going to be good.
No.
As Adelaide will fire that one in, but there was no one there, no one moving towards the posts.
So it was a really disappointing loss for the Hockey Roos, because the top 4 teams from this tournament play off in the World League finals in New Zealand at the end of the year, and Australia were very much expecting to go to that, which they won't now, and now they need to play off a 5th spot, and the 5th-ranked team will go to the World Cup next year, and so now Australia have got their eyes on that prize.
So Adelaide again will look onto that left-hand side. Shanda's made her way all the way over there.
So Talbot, that's Lucy Talbot there, the Burnside stalwart, wearing both the leggings and the skin. So
she's very well wrapped up against the cold winter air.
She is indeed.
And she keeps going. Slid that one through. That's good control. Shut down though, and there'll be a free hit.
So you can see the way Burnside are pressing, just allowing that ball back to the back defender, and now they'll push out and try and intercept from there.
It's a good intercept. Adelaide looking to play a high line and open up the space in midfield, but Lauren Krolig doing very well and managed to keep in front of the attacker.
Yep, she's a Burnside veteran, Krolig.
Started playing at age 4.
Well, she's been playing for a while then.
I think I had the ability to hold a hockey stick at 4, let alone play. Played in 2 grand finals and won 1 in 2004.
Yeah, I'd be safe to say that she would be the only player out there that would be part of that 2004 Burnside Premiership, unless I'm wrong. Georgie Kuehl, I'm pretty sure wouldn't have been. Yeah, no, Georgie Kuehl's played in 3 grand finals and hasn't won one yet. So that's Lauren Mutton, number 12 on the ball. So I think, again, her and Emily Grist, both former Burnside players who have come across to Adelaide. Lauren Mutton also a former state under-21 rep.
She moved 2 years ago. She played in 2 grand finals with Burnside and hasn't won either of them. Grist will work her way back. Get control of it and then just fire it down the line. Yeah, give away the free hit though.
She lifted that one. She's a quality player, Emily Grist. She's very much in the coaching pathway at the moment, having working with Hockey SA on a female coaching scholarship role. Great ball there through for Carly
Hoffman, who will start to get her head up and look into that circle. Again, Adelaide will get there, but she's managed to make her way to the top of the circle, put it on the reverse stick. Still around there and need to be cleared, and eventually it was cleared. Shand will be out there on the left-hand side and work her way to the byline. Look to her, she'll turn inside. Just lost control of it slightly, but she manages to get it across, and there'll be another short corner for Adelaide. So their second one of the night.
Yeah, initially really well done by Carly Hoffman. She set up her defender. It looked like she was going to roll back onto her forestick, but then took the space on her backhand and got the shot away. And then it was well worked on the left edge of the circle by Hattie Shand to win the corner. So you've got Rebecca Nolan on one battery, number 8. You've got Amy Waters, who are both strong hitters. Amy's also got a really strong slide on her. So you would expect one of them to neither would drag flick. They'll either hit or slap this, you'd think.
So we have a double battery with Shand and Grist looking to trap. Grist will trap and they'll flick that out to the left-hand side, and that one will be fired towards the goal and will go wide, and umpires look at each other to see what it was, and it ends up as a 16-yard hit. So as we come away with this, just a reminder again that the Hockey SA Awards night, and I can't stress enough that if you haven't been to one of these, get out to one, as Adelaide will again make that circle entry and fire, and it'll go to the right. Amy Waters getting into the circle and finding a way. I can't stress enough, go to one of these, especially over the last couple of years where they brought in the little film.
Yeah, I think Katrina might have had her fingerprints on them, so I dare say she's scheming something up as we speak.
I already know that it's already in pre-production.
Right. So yeah, the going back to the corner that Adelaide had, they slipped it left, I think maybe to feed Patton, and probably sent it a little bit too far left, so they might want to adjust that next time. And then Amy Waters often does what she did on the long corner. She just travelled into the circle and had a shot, but it missed on the near side.
And here we see Minnie Gobelos make her entrance into the game, number 46 for Adelaide. Prolific goal scorer last time out, we saw her. And they've given her a good 3/4 of the game to go and get something tonight.
Well, the people have spoken. So
certainly have. Hashtag get Minnie on.
I'm actually almost fairly certain that we talked about the fact that the Australian girls that I coached in Chile last year at the World Cup, winning a bronze medal. I'm fairly sure she might have been part of the Australian junior girls in 2001 that won the previous bronze medal. So I stand corrected, but maybe someone can help me out on. I'm
sure somebody will let us know.
Facebook.
They generally do.
But she is. She's very much a goal sneak and loves scoring a goal. So you'll see her around the goal circle when the ball's hit in.
Helen Stone, the score at the moment is 1-1. I'm not sure when you did that. If you're watching on your phone, if you just swipe to the right on your screen, it will get rid of the live button and you'll be able to see it. Yeah. Hashtag get the hat trick comes from Melody Cooper.
Melody Cooper.
Gobelots was fire that into the circle and dealt with very well.
Yeah, so Melody Cooper, great mates with Minnie Gobelos. In fact, I'm almost certain that Melody Cooper played in that 2001 Junior World Cup for New Zealand against Minnie playing for Australia. So again, if Melody Cooper is interactive, she'll probably let us know about that one. But she's at home with her. She's recently had
very
her
young baby,
second child, Leilani, little girl, a couple of weeks old. So I'm sure she's tucked up on her couch watching closely.
McLaughlin versus Shan. That's probably going to be a battle through the next couple of years. And she went past Bartholomew's and then was turned away by McLaughlin. That's a bit loose, and Burnside can almost get away with it, but Adelaide have done well and got the numbers behind it.
Yeah, you will. I mean, McLaughlin and Shand do a lot of training together, being in the Sassy squad. So Shand only recently into the squad, and McLaughlin's been in the squad for a few years. So they're teammates a lot of the time, but not tonight.
We talked about it as well on Wednesday night, is that we look at Shand, who's playing tonight, and Emma DeBro and Mickey Spano. They're ones that you would definitely be putting a mark next to and expecting to see wearing the colours of the Hockeyroos at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. Obviously, I think you interviewed Spano, was it last week, and she talked about her selection for the
she's on her way to Japan.
Japanese tour around August the 5th. So she's recently back from a back injury, played some minutes the other night, and will play some minutes for uni tomorrow, and then hopefully be at full minutes next Friday when we take on Queensland. So, yep, she's certainly on the right track.
That one's fired by Gobelos at the top, but no one was there or thereabouts. She did exactly what you would want her to do, go to that back post.
Well, I think in an ideal world, someone else would have done that, and Minnie would have been on the back
Minnie
post.
would have been at the back post. I think that's where she scored her goals from.
She
last
did.
Time we saw her, just being in the right place at the right time.
Yep, she's very much your goal poacher. She's a little bit like kind of Angus Fry with the little touches in the circle.
So that one goes out to play. But one of the things we talked about, and one of the really good things, is Mickey Spano obviously going away, but Hattie Shand and Emma DeBro are really at the same level, and they're going to push each other to be as good, to be the best they can possibly be.
Yeah.
So that competition between those two probably means that South Australia is likely to produce some more Olympians.
Well, you'd hope so. Yeah, I mean, in Rio we had 4 of the 16 South Australians in Georgie Parker, Karen McMahon, Jane Claxton, who captained the Hockeyroos last night, and Gabby Nance, and so Emma DeBro, Mickey Spano, Yelena McLaughlin, Hattie Shand, Amy Hammond, all these sorts of players will be looking to carry that on. But you know what we'd really look to do is ideally try and get some males into the system, which we've struggled in recent years. And in the Sassy squad, we've got 8 of the 13 are males, and we saw a couple of them out there tonight in Fred Gray and Angus Fry, and you've got some other good ones in Simon Wells and Isaac Whitaker, and a few others. And so, yeah, I think there's some exciting times ahead for the males in the state as well.
And that goes to show the coaching, and really just a shout out to the junior coaches of all the clubs around, because you need them as much as anybody else, really.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, in the Sassy program, we rely heavily on the junior coaches and then their Premier League club coaches when they get into that part of the their hockey, and obviously their state coaches. And so when they come into our program at age 17, 18, or some at age 16, that a lot of their habits are quite entrenched, and if they've been well coached, it obviously makes our job easier.
So it has become a little bit of an arm wrestle now, and Burnside will look to clear that out as we are in the final 10 minutes. Someone does need to go up and change those bulbs on the stadium score.
It lulls us
scoreboard.
into a false sense of where we're at in the game, but
Says a minute 6 over there,
it
and
does.
it's not.
It is not. No, the screen in front of us is a lot clearer. So, but yeah, it's probably been played more in Adelaide's half in the last 10 minutes without a whole lot of opportunity. So again,
it's a midfield battle at the moment, and neither one has managed to get on top at the moment, but Grist and McLaughlin and Shand have all been quiet, which means that the defensive midfielders are doing their jobs.
yes, yeah, no, I mean, you can see the difference between the men's game and the women's game. When there's an outlet in the men's game, you saw the Adelaide strikers stretching the field, whereas you just look at that outlet and a lot of it's very compact. It's quite a crowded field at the moment, so not a lot of opportunity to get the ball into open spaces.
So we have Sharon Crispin watching from Tennant Creek.
Tennant Creek in the Northern Territory, I believe. Is that right?
Saying go Burnside, and that one just comes off a stick and will go towards the circle, but Burnside managed to shut it down somewhat. Carly Hoffman again getting through some work up top. Again, it's crowded in there. That one's fired in, and Gobelos again looking to take control. And that's managed to come through and just couldn't get it under control. And
so that was an opportunity. I think it was Jossie Kelly.
It was Jocelyn Kelly from the Northern Territory.
And before that, I really enjoyed the battle between Carly Hoffman and Lucy Talbot. So Carly muscled in. I think she's 15, and Lucy would be 27, 28, I think. And Carly didn't take a backward step. So I enjoyed seeing that.
Shand again out on this right-hand side. So she swapped from right to left and back to the right-hand side. Melody Cooper says, yes, Minnie Gobelos did play in that Junior World Cup in Argentina and won bronze. So good to have you with us, Melody.
Yep, well done, Kiwi. Thanks for that.
Congratulations on your win on Wednesday night. Obviously a co-coach of the Hot Shots for 2017.
Yeah, they looked impressive the other night with their 6-1 win, and it was a really good hit out for the 21s boys. I think when they go away to Wollongong next week, they won't face, well, we hope they won't face anything tougher than that. So the 21s boys have had a good prep and some good matches against the Hot Shots, and they, in the end, the Hot Shots got the better of them on Wednesday night.
Well, we think they were very, very close to each other on aggregate. I think the under-21s towed them up a week before.
I think they did, but I think the pride of the
once the cameras came out, the Hot Shots
right.
didn't want to get beat on camera.
Well, once the cameras came out, I think a few more Hot Shots came out. So
well, that's what I said. We are a good luck charm for the Hot Shots. So if somebody wants to pay for us to go over, we certainly will.
That's right.
As that one is fired into the circle. Shand again will manage to get it in there. Free hit just outside.
Yeah, danger period here for Burnside. They've been defending for a fair portion of the last 10 minutes.
Shand will find Waters again, and Waters will fire that one in, but that one misses everybody.
Yeah, the
Tracy
strikers,
Henderson over to our left, nonchalantly leaning on her stick, hasn't had much to do.
she's looking fairly relaxed. She picked the ball out of her own net once, but
Other than that, she's not had much to do.
now she's encouraging her players. One of the really important things for a goalkeeper to do is to remain involved in the game with their talking and their organisation. And so obviously the goalie has the best view. Here's a break for Burnside with McLaughlin's
going to get a stick on it and look to turn inside, and that was interesting from Lauren Mutton, accidentally catching the stick of McLaughlin.
I think you might have called it a professional foul, actually.
Well, I was I was giving her the benefit of the doubt somewhat.
I didn't. Yeah.
Well, most importantly for her, the umpires did.
They did.
But yeah, it was cynical.
Yeah.
And she got away with one. Rafe Thompson has joined us. He was just part of that men's game that we just saw, so he can't get enough of hockey. Shand out on that left-hand side will fire it through. It's interesting control, but didn't go to anybody other than a Burnside player, and Ellen Howe will clear them out.
Yeah, that was Georgie Bridgerland ghosting forward and somehow managed kind of almost behind her back to knock it almost back into the path of Minnie Gobelos.
Another free hit, and she'll play to herself. It's fired inside, and Grist will have control of it in the circle. Does well. Good elimination down on that baseline. Looking for a signal, and it'll be a free hit to Burnside.
Yeah.
So we are in the last 5 minutes of this first half. Red time as the hockey genius that is Darren Nimkin likes to call it.
He loves a bit of red time, Daz. Yeah, you saw Mindy Gobelos having a chat to Dylan Evans, trying to get confirmation of what that free was for, but you saw the umpires communicate with each other around the free, and Holly at the other end obviously had a better view and saw something which Dylan didn't.
So it has been a tight one, and the sensible Lauren Mutton will get rid of it. Again, they'll look on this left-hand side, and Gobelos will get her head up and try to find Grist, but too far in front.
Yeah, the game has played out pretty well as we predicted. I think we talked about the fact that they're tied on points, they're tied on goal difference. They're both teams 2 points behind Northeast in 4th spot. And so it's been a bit cagey in the last 20 minutes with neither team wanting to give the other team.
Fired in and deflected from outside, so it will be a long corner.
And these are dangerous because Amy Waters is clever on the ball here. You got.
She's gone to herself. She's gone very, very quickly, and she'll fire it towards goal. Burnside have done well to get her in the way, and they'll look to clear, and anywhere will do, but Mutton will get control of it. Look out onto this right-hand side. Another good challenge from that Burnside player. I don't have a number. I don't have her on my sheet.
That's Lucy Talbot there, and
Lucy Talbot, very wrapped up against the cold.
There's a bit of crowd participation there.
Yeah, I think we're pleased with that.
Emily Grist looking for a little touch there.
So we are in the final 30 seconds. These teams want to play out the full half, unlike the men who decided they'd had enough with about a minute to go.
Yeah, they wandered off.
Just wandered off.
Neither team wanted to hurry to get it, but I don't even. This ball might be played out, but it's you'd expect nothing to come of it.
Fired out to the right-hand side, and Gobelos will chase it down. Does well to keep hold of it, and the siren goes for half-time, and we are well tied up at 1 apiece as we will step away, and we'll take a very short break. I think we've got another level of hockey video for you, so you have a look at. So don't go anywhere, have a look at that one. We'll join you for the second half after you've had a look at that video. Thank you for joining us on this broadcast, brought to you by Hockey SA and powered by Spacequake Sports.
So I started playing my first hockey back when I was 8 or 9. I saw my first female role model on the field, and Amelia Harkness, and she had number 67. So I thought of her as a superhero. So when she moved down to Adelaide to go on with her hockey career, and as she grew up in life, I decided I would take the number and make it my own. I thought that the number would make me a superhero as well. She was my role model right from the very start of my hockey life. So I aspire to inspire the younger ones with my number as well as just who I am. I decided to be a coach at 14, so young, because I thought I'd be able to engage better with the younger kids and understand how they feel about playing hockey and how they don't like going for runs, because I don't like going for runs, but if they have to, they have to. Yeah, the characteristics and traits that I would like them to pick up from me would be to always remain positive, even though if you don't win or don't make a team or something, just keep your head up and just show whoever was watching, or if anybody's put you down, just show them that you can be better than them and you can keep going. You don't need a title to stay where you are. You can be better from beyond. As I decided to play down in Adelaide, I wanted to go to a club where I didn't know anybody, so I didn't have the same expectations and they didn't have the expectations of me, so I went in blind-eyed. And then I met the Premier League coach, my first training for the under-14s, and I had no idea he was the Premier League coach. And then he came out and joined in our training, and then decided that I'd play Metro Ones that weekend. So that was pretty cool. I didn't know who he was. That's Greg Abbott. I didn't know who he was, and then all of a sudden he's the Premier League coach that I'm going to play with and for 2 weeks after. Taking that trip down to Adelaide, which is 2 hours almost, to play against those better people, those best players of the state, and being able to build my own name up is just great. I played under 18 men's for Grange one time to fill in because they needed numbers, and I love playing with the boys, like messing around with the boys, because they're faster, stronger, and you learn really quick. I love playing against the older girls, and even knowing that they're meant to be like really good and like they uphold our SA. So you come against them, and it makes you smile. I don't know, I just smile. I love it, and yeah, I love playing against them. So yeah.
And welcome back to Depps Cross, half-time between Adelaide and Burnside. The women's game, the second one up tonight, and the very last PL Friday, unless we can sneak another one in. It depends on how much hockey I say like, because we might be able to sneak with the Seacliff Adelaide University game in, but we'll see about that. As we expected, really, from the word go, these two teams on exactly the same points, exactly the same goals, and we're in an arm wrestle as things stand now.
We are. Adelaide started well, scored really early on, corner rebound by memory, and looked well on top, but then Burnside, I think, scored from their only corner with a low drag flick into the bottom corner by Yelena McLaughlin. Burnside had one other really good chance, but weren't able to take that. So it's been an arm wrestle.
It has been an arm wrestle, and what do we expect from this second half? It depends on who can come out quicker in the second half and get that early goal, and another early goal will mean that we can start to move towards just to open it up a bit. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back to you for the start of the second half.
See Premier League hockey in real time.
In real time.
In real time.
Good receive there by Simon Weld.
And in front of the goal mouth.
Every goal.
Every goal. Every goal.
The ball penetrating run, open circle, 1-2 play.
Every save.
Every save.
James Minton has the opportunity. Great save.
Get straight into the circle, off a stick, and well saved by Amy Hammond.
Every tackle. Every tackle.
Gets the attack into the circle. Nice tackle there.
Live.
Right here on Hockey SA.
Right here on Hockey SA.
Runs with pace. Into battery 2. Looks for a quick shot off the back post.
Net 25 here.
Get around it. Get around it.
And we are back, and we're just waiting for the teams to come back out. Dylan Evans and Holly Evans are our umpires tonight. See whether they swap sides, so Holly can get a little bit more TV time. From a coaching point of view, who would be happier, do you think? And it's just going to be more of the same, you would imagine.
Yeah, I think both coaches would have seen enough that they like to work on at halftime with their groups. I think Adelaide probably overall had more territorial advantage. Burnside looked dangerous on occasions going forward, but I think Adelaide will look to be a little bit more precise with some of their circle penetrations, and to maybe try and create a little bit more opportunity from the territorial advantage that they've got. Whereas Burnside, I think they'd be looking to get Yelena McLaughlin and Lucy Talbot probably to basically control it into the midfield a bit more, so they can try and get a little bit more possession.
It has been like a heavyweight boxing match between those two 25-metre lines. Neither of them have got the control that they would completely want. Both midfields are still trying to work and get on top of each other. Shand again will get her head up and look for a pass.
Yeah, well, straight away you've seen the key players from either side. You saw Talbot and Kill having some interplay, and then you saw Shand and Grist doing the same thing.
Managing to get a circle entry, and Burnside struggling to get back as she just ghosts past a couple of players, and Lucy Talbot will manage to clear it out to that left-hand side. Adelaide will be able to repeat that circle entry again, you would think, but Burnside bent but didn't break.
No, well, I mean, similar start to the first half. A fantastic piece of skill by Carly Hoffman, the 15-year-old. So she controlled it well and beat one or two, but just couldn't quite get an outcome at the end of it.
She's just ghosted out into this left-hand side, but she'll make a circle entry. Strong challenge, but she rode it very, very well. Burnside will come out, but it will come straight back.
Yeah, it could have potentially been a corner for the challenge inside the 23.
So Adelaide will look out to the right-hand side now with the goal scorer pattern that will work to the baseline and then pull it back to Shand. It's still bouncing around in there. It's still there, and that one is lifted and will go over. I thought it was going to drop just the right side, but big loud whistle.
So,
oh, he's gone back to what that initial challenge in the 23 and just had a word with her about it, but
yeah,
nothing doing from it. That was where is she? The number 22.
Not sure, but I'm surprised that it wasn't a corner, and obviously Dylan Evans saw enough to stop the game and warn her, but not just give her a talking to rather than a card. But
just a little telling off.
A little telling off, but
we don't know who that number 22 is. She's not on our list,
no.
So she gets away with it. We can't give her even more of a telling off. Good challenge though there, and.
But yeah, that was going back to the opportunity. It was a really good opportunity for Adelaide. It was parried away by the keeper Rundle, and it fell to Pennington, and her first time shot ballooned over the top.
So Grist will turn it over, and Burnside can break. It's 3-on-3 at the moment with Shand and Grist working very, very hard to get back. Just one-handed. Georgie Keel was going down that right-hand side and just couldn't keep it under control, but she'll get the push in. And that one will be fired across in front, and there was someone there, Victoria Neal.
Well, you saw the running power of Georgie Keel there. She's a really powerful athlete. I believe that she's either run marathons or at least half marathons during the season. So sometimes she might even play a game on the weekend and then run a half marathon.
She can run a half marathon in an hour and 45 minutes.
Well, there you go. She's got me covered.
Well, yeah. I think she's got most people covered. I think I'd struggle to drive a half marathon in an hour and 45 minutes, to be honest, without stopping for water breaks. McLaughlin just couldn't get that one under control. Something we see a lot on this surface is when the players try and hit it and they'll squeeze it in and it'll bounce up. Is that this surface that causes that?
Not necessarily this surface. It is. You see it a lot on wet surfaces. So there are some pitches around Adelaide and also in other states where they're sand based, and they are easier to keep flat. And these wet surfaces basically show up when your technique's poor. So if you are trying to hit the ball or slap the ball and you don't get your technique right, it can actually bring the ball up into the air by squeezing it up. That's a beautiful tomahawk by Waters.
Yeah, and she was the one we were talking about who squeezed it into the turf, and she shows us up with that wonderful skill. So it's there.
I think you may, I'm not sure whether Darren Nimke mentioned it last week, but the FIH, the international body of hockey, had their testing staff out testing the pitch, which they have to do to keep it basically being able to host national and international matches. So yeah, they were out here a couple of weeks ago when we were setting up for a training session, doing fairly detailed testing of the surface. I think they actually came up with a stat that they do some way of measuring that this was one of the fastest pitches in Australia.
So Waters again will work on the outside of the circle and fire that one in, but that one a little bit too high for Holly Evans' liking.
Yeah, so just finishing off that.
There's a challenge, isn't there, to get from one goal to the other in a certain amount of time. I'm sure I saw.
I think I've seen that on. Yeah,
I think it was on the Hockey Australia.
I think I might have
page.
seen it on Hockey Queensland, and I think one of my co-coaches up in Queensland, Matt Wells, who's a Olympic gold medalist who coaches the Queensland men's group.
Burnside will probably have a free the push in a really good position for them against the run of play, and all of a sudden they're finding themselves within the 25 and being able to launch an attack. She plays to herself and turned over by Grist. Grist will take on McLaughlin, and See that squeeze, and it will make its way all the way back to Lauren Crowley.
Yeah, it's a bit of a game of sort of making ground at the moment without a lot of interplay between the teams.
Grist again in the right place at the right time. Another turnover, and McLaughlin turned herself into trouble somewhat there. And Carly Chadwick will take over. Beats a couple, but gets the free hit eventually.
So McLaughlin's finding herself playing at attacking mid for Burnside this evening. When she goes away with the SA State Women's team, she'll probably find herself as a defender, but she's a versatile player.
Where you go into that total hockey again, and she can fill into different positions, and seeing that from a lot of the youngsters and their ability to play in many different positions. Grist just looked to touch it on, but it was cut out by Chadwick. That one will pop up, and Shand will do very well to bring that out of the air. Unfortunately, couldn't finish it off. Grist, a lovely first-time touch out on this left-hand side.
I think this is young Harriet Griffin, who's a 16-year-old, recently into the Adelaide Premier League team.
16 years old, first year in the Premier League, and there's a big loud whistle, and someone's getting a green triangle, and it's the young lady we were just talking about.
There you go, commentator's curse. So yeah, I think she got into the 5-metre space of the free.
Just 2 minutes in the naughty chair for her, and so it's not long for Burnside to try and make that extra player pay.
Yeah, sometimes the way teams play with the extra play.
Very nearly turned over just on the 25, but did just enough.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even notice as a spectator that there's potentially one player off. You will see the team drop away a little bit and not press as much. Although Adelaide is still being fairly aggressive here.
That one's fired out, and there was no real chance for her to get anywhere near that, as we see how quick this surface is. And we'll go all the way back to start again. Adelaide will look for a little bit of clock management while they try and get rid of that green card disadvantage. Shand will work to the baseline. She's getting a long corner out of it though.
Yeah, that was a nice redirect pass by Laura Mutton, where she was just able to change the angle of the ball and get it down to Shand.
Again, they looked for that redirect at the top. I think that was Erin Cameron who was the target at the top of the circle.
It was a good ball by Waters, and Cameron's in the right spot, but she just didn't get a touch on it. And as soon as it goes into the circle without getting a touch, it's a free the other way from that part of the field. So we're not really seeing either team possess the ball for long periods of time at the moment.
No, possession is at a premium, and as we talk about that, Burnside will make that circle entry, and they'll get the long corner, but both sides have been frugal.
Yes, they have, and as one thing we look for as coaches is the amount of time we can possess the ball, and the number of, here's a chance for McLaughlin.
McLaughlin will find somebody there, and it's there or thereabouts, and Bartholomew's was looking for it, but there'll be another short corner to Burnside, I think.
Yes.
Who are 100%. And McLaughlin will look to carry this on. A lot of pats on the back from her teammates, just saying, let's do exactly what we did last time.
There you go. I think that might have been saved by Grace Henderson, but onto the foot of her defender. So McLaughlin lining up for a flick. She can also slap the ball.
Single battery there. I think if you could show that you were going to hit and get Gracie Henderson lying down and then be able to lift it over. There is the injection, there's the trap, and a little bit of a variation. I don't think it was on purpose though, but it's still there or thereabouts, and McLaughlin will fire it towards goal. Henderson gets one but can't get the second one, and Bartholomew's will put Burnside 2 goals in front. The Burnside defenders aren't happy with that one.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was a defined variation initially where they popped the ball out to the right and then back into McLaughlin. It didn't fall to McLaughlin's forehand. She did really well to get a backhand slide shot away, and then Bartholomew's was on the spot as we see Adelaide going down
Grist
straight
has done
away.
incredibly well, and Grist is first there, and that's an excellent save by Belinda Rundle. Now the Adelaide girls really have to, drop a gear and work even harder as we see Grist just go and pick a pocket and then turn and just couldn't get it high enough to get over Rundle's left leg.
Beautiful skill by Grist, but yeah, Bartholomew's is an excellent finish by her. The first time slap into the goal. And then a great save by Rundle down the other end to keep Burnside's 2-1 lead. So you can sense straight away that this game has gone up a notch.
So Burnside continue to be 100% from their short corners. So
They do.
That's the Knight Rider will be happy with that.
He hasn't been as vocal tonight, the Knight Rider. I sometimes can hear him a bit more. So.
So Adelaide really must now start to put more pressure on. That one will go all the way across, and it's miscontrolled, but it'll only go for a long corner.
Well, you can see that was a really aggressive press by Adelaide. They had 5 players in a ring almost surrounding the person on the ball and forced her back, and then the error was made by the back defender. So it's an Adelaide long corner with Waters on the ball again.
They'll come out to this left-hand side to Bridgeland. Cut out by Bartholomew's, who's got her own little supporters club away to her right now.
She has.
And also on Facebook, lots of Go Roses on Facebook. So Burnside will cut that one out, but you see the tempo is lifted now from Adelaide. A couple of players who weren't really in the 5 did just enough to slow her down without giving away the free. Bartholomew's has really decided she's going to take this game by the scruff of the neck.
She has. She's everywhere at the moment. I think the other person that you'll see take the game is this person, Kill. She
got her head up. She'll look for Bartholomew. She'll throw herself on the ground again.
She's a crowd favourite.
And here goes McLaughlin. She'll turn inside and she'll get the free hit. Came off Lauren Mutton's foot. There are players out there to Burnside, so the tempo is lifted for Burnside as well. But Talbot will look out to that left-hand side. A little bit of a whiff, but they managed to get hold of it. Number 71 is Nissa Wedding. She miscontrolled it somewhat, but got it back, but eventually turn it over to Adelaide.
Yeah, well, the crowd has been brought into the game. I think the tempo on the pitch has gone up. I think Adelaide are really going to have to push for at least an equaliser. Otherwise, as we talked about, Burnside will go a game clear, and there's obviously still a bit to go in the season, but it's not a position Adelaide would want to be in.
See Carly Chadwick, one of the players sporting the Under Armour tonight. I don't know whether it's Under Armour. Probably shouldn't say which one it is, but the undershirt.
I think I would have been doing the same thing.
Yes. We are sat in front of a heater.
Well, you are.
Well, trying to deflect it towards you.
It's not working.
She is a cold night, as per usual. So this number 11 we don't have a list for. I don't know whether that's Yvette from the Netherlands. I'm not going to have a go at that surname.
Oh, is there a Dutch player?
Yeah. Enenam, I think. Yvette van Enenam, a 38-year-old.
That may well be her, I think.
I think that might be the number 11.
Yep, I'm going to have a stab at that. Someone might be able to help us. She's wearing orange shoes, so maybe that's.
Well, it's normally a dead giveaway. The Dutch are very proud of their orange colours.
Yeah, the Orange Army.
Burnside will go back. Probably a little bit early for clock management, but they're going to make sure McLaughlin will go back there, who's gone into that. Oh, and Bartholomew's is there again, and she'll get number 2. So there it is. She found herself in the sweet spot, got the deflection, and that's her second goal of the night.
Well, Burnside went all the way back to McLaughlin, who who basically pulled it inside and then drove a dangerous ball into the circle, and Bartholomew's just threw herself at it and got the smallest of touches past Henderson. So Burnside are really taking this game by the scruff of the neck.
Now Adelaide will have to really throw caution to the wind, you would think, for the last 20 minutes of this one if they want to get anything out of it. Rose just doing what she does best, says Claire Curry. Let's have a look at our leading goal scorers for the Women's League, if we can find it. Is she on there? No, she's not on there.
I don't even know if she's been, and I may be wrong, but I don't even know if she's been a regular Premier League player. I know that in previous years she's played different grades, some M1s, even some M2s. So she'll be loving this
well, there
tonight.
we go. First game back in the Premier League since 2003.
Oh, there we.
So that's why she's not on the. That's why she's not on the top 10 goal scorers.
But that's 14 years between Premier League performances, and she's got 2 goals. So
keep feeding the Rose. She'll find herself in the top 10 before the night's out.
Yep, she
only needs another 4, and she'll break into it.
I'm fairly sure it won't be another 14 years before she gets another game.
No, certainly not. She's an assistant brewer at the Wheatie Brewing Corps. So, sorry, the Wheatie Brewing Corps. Oh, and that one could put Crowley under pressure, but she does well. Bartholomew's again being a thorn in the side of Annie Bridgeland.
Yeah, Bartholomew's is just one of these players that just does things a bit differently.
Well, that's a wonderful turn, and she'll start making her way forward. Georgie Keel again. She'll look to find a circle entry. Waters does well, shuts it down, but Keel will go back and get it. Another good challenge. Adelaide will have to keep it in to prevent Burnside being able to build from inside the 23rd.
So that was.
Oh, that's a dangerous ball across the front.
Ball.
Sure that Ian Jennings would have held his breath somewhat then.
Yep, so that was the Bridgeland sisters working together there, Georgie and
now
Annie.
Adelaide can look to break, and they have got the runners coming. Alison Pennington will work out onto that right-hand side. Krolick did enough, but gives away the free hit. Grist will step in and fire it towards a circle. Minnie Gobelos is in this. She'll need to repeat her heroics from the last time we saw her on a Friday night. But Adelaide are going to get anything from this. Bartholomew's wins another free hit.
Well, that's exactly what she wanted there. That she was fairly isolated, and she just looked to win a free and allow her team to settle and get into formation again.
It's a nice little turn inside, but Waters will tomahawk that one down the line. Almost brought out of the air.
Well dealt with by Chadwick. Probably Adelaide could have been a bit more patient in how they dealt with it.
Bartholomew's again, who's everywhere, and a lovely inside ball. And then they will get the go forward, and they'll look for another circle entry. She pops inside. Just shut down by Waters. It's all play on at the moment, but Keel will have a striker goal, and Keel will score the 4th goal of the game for Burnside.
Well, again, Bartholomew's was involved in the build-up. I think we think it was the Dutch player who had a big hand in it, and then the ball fell to Georgie Keel, who doesn't need too many opportunities. Although the goal is being reviewed as we speak, so I don't think it'll get overturned though.
I think there's Waters is making the case that she thinks the tackle from Keel was illegal in some way, but it looked perfectly clean to me.
Yeah, I think it was too. It may have even been touched in by one of the Burnside players. It looked like it came off a number 74, potentially 64.
Well, we'll give it to Georgie.
Could have been Victoria Neal. If it was me who'd have touched it, I would have been a bit more up and about with my celebration, just so I got given the goal.
So Bartholomew's again will start to work, and this young lady who we don't have a number 4, unfortunately, is the number 76 for Burnside. If anyone's watching at home can let us know who this young lady is. But you didn't fancy a go at Yvette Van Eenenarm?
No, I'll leave that to you, Dave. You're the expert. Well, this has
the second half it's
been all Burnside, hasn't it?
It's one of the oldest And there's another, it's a green card again. And I think she probably said a little bit too much, Georgie Bridgeland, as she went past Dylan Evans.
This is Georgie's sister Annie. So yeah, so she should actually probably try and get off quicker because the 2 minutes doesn't start until she sits down. So but the game has certainly opened up and very much in Burnside's favour at the moment. And
good overhead, but good control out of the air. Bartholomew's again. She's done herself no harm at all in this one, but she probably delayed a little bit too much and then turns directly into Shan, but she'll get the free hit as it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a free, but anyway, I think Dylan might have seen something that I didn't. But I think McLaughlin was on there, but Bartholomew's decided just to keep it on her stick. She can do what she wants.
So we can confirm that the number at 11 is Yvette Van Inenam, wearing the orange shoes.
Well done.
But the 76 we still need to know.
Right.
But Adelaide will get control of it. 15 minutes to go. I mean, it's doable. It's certainly doable. It only takes a second to score a goal. And how quickly we restart in these games, you wouldn't be surprised if they could get it going.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, hockey has become a much more high-scoring game now with the self-play rule and corners being a big factor. And I mean, tonight, what have we had? 10 goals in the men's game, 5 in the women's. So we've been privileged to see 15 goals in both games to date.
Victoria Neal doggedly carrying on after that one, wouldn't give it up, and it will go out for a 16-yard hit.
Yep, she was putting Rebecca Nolan under pressure. As I said before, an Adelaide stalwart's been part of the P's since about, at least 10 years, I think.
So Shand will go back. I'm sure you're telepathically trying to get a message down to the Burnside coach to maybe wrap a couple of your players in cotton wool as they go away on Wednesday, as that one flashes past the face of Elena McLaughlin.
Yeah, so I think what have we only got some Elena McLaughlin going away from the Burnside team. We had Samantha McKenna in our team. We should make a shout out to Sam. She actually had foot surgery on Thursday, I believe. So unfortunately, she had to withdraw from the team a couple of weeks ago after a.
Well, that's a good challenge, and they'll get the free hit, and again, probably got away with it not being a green card because she knew she was the last defender there. And they'll go out onto that right-hand side to Pennington. Pennington couldn't keep it in, unfortunately.
Pennington's done a power of running the last few minutes. She's really trying to, work her Adelaide team back into it.
Bartholomew's will come back into the fray.
Now she's looking for a hat-trick.
Certainly is. 38-year-old. She hails originally from Sri Lanka, rock and boulder climber.
Well, she's got an interesting CV.
Yes. McLaughlin again will take on Shan, and Shan will win that battle and just leave McLaughlin in the dust.
Yeah, good battle. Lucy Talbot's too experienced to let that one through. She's a former New Zealand international player.
Throws that one forward and no one's there, and we see that she's played that. She hasn't played the sweeper role. She almost sat as an anchor just in front of the back three. I think Burnside.
At the moment, she's very much that free defender. You see her parking herself on the danger line, just mopping everything up.
Cameron will get her head up probably. And try and look for a runner.
There she is. On cue.
Just shuts it down. Very much the role that we see Sarah Harrison play for Port Adelaide. Late whistle, and I think Amy Waters has to be a little bit careful. She keeps looking questioningly at Dylan Evans every time he blows the whistle. She's already had one sit down.
That's right. Well, Amy can get a little frustrated at times.
She was very frustrated with the second goal, I think it was.
As we all can. So, but if Adelaide would have any chance of getting themselves back into this contest, they'd need to create something now.
And that is going to happen as they get to the byline, and unfortunately they can't control it, but it's still there or thereabouts. Will come off Christ's foot, and Burnside will have the free hit, and we'll be able to waste a little bit more time.
Yeah, again, that was well played by Carly Chadwick, who's been a solid defender for Burnside this evening.
So there is Van Unenarm. I'm hoping
Oh, he's
I'm
danger.
close to that. And Georgie Keel now will have the numbers, and she'll find Bartholomew's out on this right-hand side, who will go at goal. Manages to get Gracie Henderson, managed to get away with it, but Keel is there on the back stick, and Keel will score, and that will push them out to 5 goals to 1.
Well, again, a really good build-up. It came out to Bartholomew's. He's had a hand in everything lately. Georgie Keel has also been really, really strong in in the second half. She was the one who got on the end of it, and a good tomahawk to make it 5-1, and you would have to say an unassailable lead.
It's looking that way now, and we now again have another race for a hat-trick as Georgie Keel is on 2 and Rose Bartholomew's is on 2. McLaughlin will throw it forward, and they'll get the free hit. So, yeah, I think the Adelaide players have to be a little bit careful. They're starting to question every single decision by the umpires now.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult final 10 minutes for them, I think, and you can see how wrong we can be. I think at half-time I talked about the fact that Adelaide had controlled it and maybe had more possession, and now Burnside have just completely come out and taken the game away from them.
I was starting to get ready for one-on-ones mentally at half-time, and I think that ship has sailed now.
That's highly unlikely.
Burnside will come all the way back to Talbot. Finds a lovely ball through to Keel. Oh, and that's a lovely little slip pass. Gris did everything she could, and she gets a free hit.
It's interesting to watch someone like a Georgie Keel at this stage of the match because of her, high level of fitness. She's able to basically keep moving into really dangerous areas, and some people can't track her runs.
Thrown into the circle, and it'll be a long corner. Talbot has shot everything down that's come down. Oh, that's caught her right on the side of the head. I think she's okay though. She just rubs it. Big smile on her face. I think she's all right with it.
It was luckily just a feed pass from Hattie Shand, and Georgie Keel came in for the intercept and used her head, but not intentionally.
Literally this time. I think she normally uses it figuratively, but this time she used it literally. My only criticism of Lucy Talbot, if she is a Kiwi, she should be used to the cold.
She should be, yes.
Shand does well and will get one over Keel and then go quickly out to Gobolos over onto this left-hand side, and they'll throw it into the circle, and that will go behind for a long corner. Talbot just couldn't get control of it. Shand again will find Gobolos. Turn her way into the circle.
Clever turn.
And there should be a short corner there, and they get it eventually. Only the 3rd one of the night for Adelaide. Both teams not giving away too many short corners.
No. And then you saw then the experience of Minnie Gobolos. She was able to receive and then use her body to turn onto her backhand and then pull it back into the foot of the defender. So who have we got on the circle's edge? Beck Nolan and Hattie Shand, who looked to be coming back off the circle, so it's unlikely it's going to go to her battery. You would say it's going to go to Beck Nolan, she's a really good golfer, low handicap golfer actually, Beck, so she should be able to hit the ball all right.
So it will be Beck who will fire it at goal. Must have come off the post and then bounced all the way across the goal.
That has come off the inside
how
of that post.
Happened, I have no idea. Lucky gods are smiling on Burnside tonight.
There's the replay. Yes, it just came off the inside of that right post. So
and worked its way all the way
well
across.
Judged by the keeper.
Adelaide will get another circle entry and get to the back, and it's gone between the legs of Grist.
Well, you saw Minnie Gobolos a little bit disappointed that she didn't put that one away. It just came straight through her area then.
Good stop by McLaughlin, who's done herself no harm the way she's played tonight, especially sat in front of her folks that she's going to be representing during next week.
Yeah, she'll be definitely a key player for the 21s. She actually made her debut for the under-21 state team in 2012 in a home tournament here. So this is her 6th year of playing under-21s and final year.
That's impressive. Again, that Burnside pressure is still there. Just turned a little bit into trouble, and Rather industrial challenges going on in there, but finally it will come out. Kelly will make her way towards goal.
She's added a bit to the Burnside team, this Dutch player, although she's just lost it there. But yeah, she showed some experience in the way in which she's controlled the ball.
And a short corner because she was nowhere near 5 then.
But having said that, yeah, that she
just let herself down in the last couple of minutes after we started pumping her tyres up.
She needed to retreat there, so.
So short corner number 4 for Adelaide tonight.
Well, they were about a centimetre from scoring the last one.
They would have wanted round posts rather than the square ones they've got.
Yep. So it looks like no one's on the second battery, so it has to be going to the...
We're going to go back to Rebecca Nolan.
Oh.
I know they come short, and that's going to the near post. And having watched that variation on Wednesday night, I know where you would have wanted to go and not to the near post.
That's right.
But they've got the long corner out of it.
Yeah, I think the injection was a little bit slow coming out, and Burnside almost ran it down, but well worked back there. This is the player that we're not sure
woman,
who
but
she
I think
is, number 76.
People sat in front of us will know who she is and see whether we can get a name from her. Neve.
Neve.
Neve. Neve.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Neve Murphy O'Neill. There she is.
There we go.
Good old Irish name, Neve. First season in the Premier League, state touch footballer, and she's another one in year 12. She did well working her way down there. Well kept in down on this side by Fee Patton, the lone goal scorer for Adelaide.
Yeah, it seems a long time ago now. I think it was in the opening minute just about, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, well, it was 20 seconds it was for the first short corner, and then they scored from it. It's turned over, and Victoria Neal was working hard to get out of there. Shand again will turn in, and then she'll turn around and fortunately just turns into Talbot.
Yeah, she just came off it there. She pulled onto her forestick, but just the ball slipped off her stick as she was trying to get more on it.
It's a favoured move of young Miss Shand.
Yeah, I think in an ideal world we'll get her to stay a little bit more open and flow forward a little bit more, but she's good at that move.
Govelos will look to fire it across, and Ellen Howe managed to get, I think it was all stick she got on that.
I think she got all shin pad, so which is why it's a corner.
Well, there we go. Shin pad made out of the same stuff, made out of the same stuff as the sticks.
That's right.
I mean, did come off her right leg. So Adelaide will have another chance. Fifth short corner of the day.
So Amy Waters, you can see down here in front of us. I think she's been off for the last 2 or 3 corners, and she's one of the key go-to players, so she'll be disappointed. But
we go to a double battery now with Shand and Nolan. It's a better injection, and everybody leaves it. And they look at each other, and Burnside have got players everywhere. Oh, she just couldn't turn quick enough. Victoria Neal just wasn't aware. Now she can go quickly, and that will be Murphy O'Neill who'll carry that. Shand has managed to get back.
Oh. Yeah, well,
knocked it away, but
well,
we'll turn it over.
Certainly a little bit of miscommunication at the top there with neither Nolan nor the trapper trapping it.
And they looked at each other, and it was one of those heartbreaking looks, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Yes, they both kind of looked at each other and said, yours, no yours.
And we just saw Emily Grist hobble off, so you would hope that with a minute to go there was not a bad injury sustained there. Looked like maybe some sort of lower leg injury.
Yeah, one would suggest that you can stick a fork in this one, and if I had to tie you down and say who has been your best player of the game?
My vote would go to Georgie Keel. I think she's done it at both ends, and she really was a catalyst to getting her team on top in the second half.
Obviously McLaughlin's done extremely well as well. Talbot's been miserly at the back and not allowed much to come through, and short of that short corner that happened in the first 20 seconds, and then the deflected the save, and then the clear up after that, and then of course Rose Bartholomew's making a return to the Premier League after a long time.
Yeah, 14 years.
14 years, a 14-year break, and she comes back and knocks in 2 goals.
Yeah, well, she sent a message to the coach, don't take another 14 years to pick me.
Well, she'll probably go and get another game tomorrow. She could be a 20-minute player tomorrow as well, see whether she can get the weekend hat-trick.
I think she may well be doing that.
So that will be that, and that will be the Friday Night Live for 2017 will be all done. So the 2 clubs share the honours for the final Friday night, and Burnside will win this 5-1, and they looked completely dominant in the first half, and just to use the old cliche, it was a game of 2 halves.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, your thoughts on that one? And
well, I think Dan Hasselhoff, Knight Rider, would be really impressed with Burnside's second half. Adelaide had more possession in the first half. It was 1-1 at half time, and the game opened up to the point where Burnside were quite dominant in that second half, and a really important victory, put them 3 points clear of Adelaide, and also well and truly improved their goal difference. They're currently sitting in 4th spot, 1 point ahead of North East, who are up against Seacliff tomorrow out on their home turf at Golden Grove tomorrow, which will be a good contest. So yeah, really impressive performance by Burnside this evening.
well, thank you to everyone who has joined us tonight. Thank you to everyone who's joined us throughout this PL Friday season. Thank you to those that have worked with me in the commentary booth: Darren Ninekey, Jaron Walsh, Mark Victory, Craig Victory, Brody Gleeson, Bob Claxton, Holly Evans, and yourself, Tim White. Thank you very much for all of your help throughout the season. But a huge thank you has to go to Katrina Ramford and Josie Rabet, who have done amazing work throughout this PL Friday season. They will have a little bit of a rest on a Friday night, but we will be back. We will definitely be back for the finals, and we look to join you then. My name has been Dave Webb. I've been joined by Tim White tonight. I will also like to thank David Muggleton, who has moved things around and made sure that you can see what you do. We have Lewis and Dan, who have been on the cameras throughout the PL Friday season. Ryan is down there on the sideline, and let's not forget that we have Nicola, who has been involved throughout most of this season. Thank you very much for joining us throughout this season. We look forward to speaking to you again in the finals, and we will speak to you soon. Don't forget, this broadcast brought to you by Hockey SA and powered by Spacequake Sports.